Welcome back, everybody, to the Angels franchise reboot on MLB The Show 24. Today, we round out our first ever regular season with the Angels against the Minnesota Twins. And the reason why is this man right here. Mike Trout was traded here several months ago. Gonna try and bring it all full circle here to close out year one. Facing Anthony DeSclafani here in Game 1. Got a full series highlight reel together for you guys. CPU versus CPU the entire way, though. Nolan Shonowell, the first batter, having a career-high year in home runs with 15 after his rookie season last year. And he starts off by flying out right to Mike Trout in center fields. Next up, Brandon Drury on the ground to first base, and he is retired. For out number 2, Julian with a high flyer going to right field. Back at the warning track and caught just before. Matt Wallner tracks it down. Route number 3, and we got Jose Suarez with his 20th start of the season here today. First batter, Willie Castro on the ground to third base, and Shonowell can't hang on. And this was a bad throw by Julian, so he gets the E5. And an error on the first play allows a base runner for Minnesota. Matt Wallner bats second. Soft liner to Hicks in left field for out number 1. And now Mike Trout at the plate. Suarez trying to keep Castro at first base, but he's known to be a prominent stealer, and he gets to second base on the very next pitch. His 32nd steal this season. And he's probably going to get more from us if he gets jump starts like that, because no chance of throwing him out there. But Mike Trout looks at strike 3. Upper echelon of the zone, and the first K for Jose Suarez. And now a ground out from Royce Lewis, and this time Julian makes a good throw to end the inning. Leading off the second inning is Logan O'Hoppe, who gets on base with the right field single. Always nice to get on base with nobody out. Followed up by Aaron Hicks with that one. Getting by Trout in center field. That's going to be extras now. O'Hoppe heading for third and now for home. That is going to be a triple for Aaron Hicks that brings home a run. And the Angels strike first. Just Hicks' 5th RBI triple, but it really comes off of, frankly, a bad diving play by Mike Trout. A rare mishap by him in center, and that allows the Angels to score first. And then next up, Mickey Moniak bringing home Hicks on the ground out, and we lead 2-0 going bottom 2. Carlos Correa opposite fields, and he reaches first. 2-1 counts. Kyle Farmer, double play, 6, 4, and 3. And the bases have been cleared. We go top of the third. There's ball 3 to Nolan Shonowell. Brandon Drury on deck. And Shonowell does not chase the low slider. He gets on base. Drury with a sinker over the heart of the plates into right field, and once again at the warning track for Matt Wallner. It'll keep Shonowell at first base. Julian next up sends a blast to center field, going back at the wall, and Trout leaps up to grab it. Would not have been a home run, but it would have at least been extra bases. Instead, we get nothing. Great play to make up for his previous one, as Byron Buxton with a single right past Zach Neto. And he's into first base with 1 out. Willie Castro gets a generous call from the ump. Not happy about it, and now Buxton has a steal. Runner in scoring position for Minnesota. That's his 19th on the season. Castro in the left center gap, and that will bring home Byron Buxton. The Twins are on the board. Castro at first, heading for second, in there safely again. His second steal already. His 33rd on the season. Out Wallner, inside out on the next pitch. And he flies out to Moniak and rights. Castro stays at second base with 2 outs. Mike Trout up again. And Suarez misses inside. The first walk that he's issued so far today. That brings up the cleanup batter, Royce Lewis. Got a lot of it. The fastball to right field at the warning track. And luckily, no more damage is done. But Willie Castro with the RBI double, or single rather. And the Twins cut our lead in half. Logan O'Hoppe up to the plate again with another inning-opening base hit. I'll take it. Aaron Hicks will get on base again. Left field corner, that's going to be extras. O'Hoppe rounding third, heading for home. And he is going to beat the throw just in time. And our lead extends back to 2. Aaron Hicks, the RBI double. He and O'Hoppe both 2 for 2 to start this day against Esclafani. Zach Neto, one batter later, sends a fly out to right field, and the inning is over, but not before Aaron Hicks extends our lead. We go bottom of the 4th. Ugly swing from Kyle Farmer, and he is sent back to his dugout. 3rd strikeout for Suarez. Takes us bottom 5, and Ryan Jeffers will close the gap back to 1 off this left field blast. That was like 110 off the bat. Bomba soda, they say here in Minnesota at Target Fields. 400 feet on the dot, and gone. Look at that. I did not realize that Aaron Hicks leads us, or really is second place rather, on OPS, but I think he's showing us why here in this game. 3 for 3 now in the contest. 2 outs for Mickey Moniak. It's a blooper that gets down and shallow left field. So a man on first and second. That's going to bring up Luis Rengifo. 70th pitch for Esclafani. Got Rengifo swinging. Rengifo strands the runners. We go bottom 6. Suarez staying in. Ricocheted off his leg. Drury can't get there in time, and Trout beats the throw. And Suarez is down. Hoppe comes to check up on him. Ron Washington comes out to make sure his starting pitcher's okay. And Suarez is going to stay out there and battle through it. Carlos Correa next up. Down the first baseline into right field corner. Trout heading for third. That is a stand-up double for Carlos Correa. Trout does not head home. So 2 in scoring position. And that'll be it for Jose Suarez. In comes Patrick Sandoval for his 49th appearance this season. Facing Kyle Farmer, and he got him looking at strike 3. At the knees, no less, but a generous call by the ump. We'll take it. But now a base hit up the middle. Max Kepler brings home Trout, and Carlos Correa safe at home as well. And the Twins jump in front right after we took out our starter. That's not what you want to see. Go top of the 8th. Griffin Jack's now on the mound, and he hits Brandon Drury on just his 2nd pitch in the game. So man on first, Edward Julian with a crack of the bats. That's a single. And Drury will hold at second base, so 2 men on, nobody out. The hitting streak up to 34 for Edward Julian. Down the right field line, back in the corner. Brandon Drury rounding third, heading for home, and he is safe. The runners hold at the corners. An RBI single for Logan O'Hoppe. 3 for 3 today. Aaron Hicks now 4 for 4. And he brings home Edward Julian to put us back in front 5-4. Aaron Hicks and Logan O'Hoppe, what a duo here in Game 1. And now Aaron Hicks has a triple, a double, and 2 singles. with 35,000 here in attendance to watch the Twins blow a lead, I guess. Justin Topa comes in. Rengifo chops it. Correa cannot make a double play at shortstop, and the runners will advance. A big chance for Zach Neto, but unfortunately he is underneath it, and the inning is over, but not before the damage was done by several Angels batters. We go top of the ninth. Yohan Duran now on the mound, facing Brandon Drury. On base with 2 outs. An attack on some more 2-hour lead before the bottom of the ninth. Edward Julian looks at ball 4 on the 103-mile-per-hour fastball. Full count to Ohtani as well, and now Duran loads the bases. A base hit and 2 straight walks, and now Aaron Hicks, a home run shy of the cycle. If he hits one here, it'll break the game wide open. 1-2 pitch, and he climbs the ladder for strike 3. Great job to get out of the jam by Duran, and it's still a 1-run game going bottom of the ninth. So in comes Matt Moore for the save opportunity. 16 for 20 so far this season. After Cisnero began the year as Carlos Estevez rather began the year as the closer. But the first batter he would face was Kyle Farmer, and he made this at-bat a difficult one for Matt Moore, and he eventually drew the walk on 8 pitches. Not what you want out of your closer. But he gets Max Kepler swinging on strike 3. He goes down. First K for Moore. Next up, Ryan Jeffers grounded into center field. Heading for third base, and safe is Brooks Lee, the pinch runner. So danger here for the Angels. Runners at the corners. Byron Buxton on the ground. 6-4-3, and the game is over just in time at first base. 5-4. The Angels take game 1. What a game, and what a win. That victory takes us right into Game 2 facing Jordan Balazovic, who this year has only had 1 start, his only appearance. So this is a fresh player that I really am not too familiar with. Brandon Drury, hot off the bat. It's going to bounce off the top of the wall, just barely staying in the yard. That would have almost been a home run with 1 or 2 feet more in the air, but the double instead. Julian climbs the ladder for strike 3. First strikeout for Balazovic. That brings up Logan Ohtani, the cleanup batter, and the sinking slider got him. So Drury left stranded at first, or at second base rather. And we go bottom of the first. Reed Detmers gets the start today. Batting first is Willie Castro, and he is walked. Carlos Correa next up, and Castro another steal. It's already his 3rd in just over 1 full game. His 34th on the season, but Correa is retired. Whiffing on that inside fastball. First K for Reed Detmers, and now Castro going for third base, and he's nowhere near close to being safe. Ohtani with a rocket pass of a lifetime, and Castro had no chance. An easy out at third base. The bases are now cleared, and Trout is sent packing. Go top of the second, Aaron Hicks leading off, and he ricochets that one off of Balazovic for an infield single. Always nice to open these innings with a base runner. One batter later, Luis Rengifo. Upper third fastball. That's gonna rattle off the wall, and Hicks comes home. Rengifo, the RBI double, and once again the Angels strike first. Go top of the third. Nolan Shonowell leading off, looking at ball 2. And now a base hit into left field. Another leadoff single by the Angels. Gotta love this. Brandon Drury next up. Beautiful pitch on the corner from Balazovic. His 5th K here in this game. Not even through a full 3 innings. High inside slider. Julian got a hold of it. That's gonna go down for extras. Runners hold at third and second with 1 out. A 35th double for Edward Julian, which gets the hit streak now up to 35 games. Nobody can stop this guy. But there's out number 2. Aaron Hicks. 1 for 1 today after a 4 for 5 game 1, and he's going to do it again. Left center gap, and both runs will score. A 2 RBI double for Aaron Hicks. This dude is just on a different level right now. Next up, Mickey Moniak. And his ground out ends the inning. Nice throw from third base by Royce Lewis, but damage done by Aaron Hicks once again. Go top of the fourth. 1 out. Lifted to right field. Zach Neto gets this one to drop just before Matt Wallner can get there in time. And that is another double for the Angels. Next up, Joe Adell. Right field again. That's a sweet spot for the Angels. And that's going to bring home Zach Neto. An RBI double for Joe Adell, who really has not done a whole lot this season, but glad to see him show up here in Game 2. Oh, and Shonowell, though, has been retired. The 7th K for Balazovic. Yet to get through 4, though, as he walks Drury here, and we got 2 men on. A 1 in scoring position, and Julian says goodbye, Minnesota. A lot of playing time here at Target Field for number 47. And he extends our lead up to 7. His 24th long ball this year. Just shy of 100 miles per hour. And yeah, he likes playing here, but he also likes playing in an Angels uniform. Caleb Tealbar will relieve Balazovic here in the 4th inning. And as he gets Aaron Hicks to ground out to third base to end the 4th, but the Angels off the bat of Edward Julian, our best player since the Mike Trout trade. 10 hits to 1. The Twins are struggling. And Reed Detmer stays in to keep on dealing. Another strikeout, his 6th of the day against Kepler. That brings up Ryan Jeffers. And he sends a blast to left field. This one is gone again. His 2nd solo jack here in the series. Back-to-back, no less, in these first 2 games. Bombasota, 106 this time after, 110 on his first home run here in the series. And the Twins are on the board. To end the 5th, Matt Wallner underneath it. Easy out for Hicks. A few feet shy of the warning track. That'll be it for Reed Detmers. In comes Tyler Anderson. Over 150 innings pitched. Trying to add to it here, but the first batter he faces draws ball 4. Next batter, Carlos Correa, and Anderson misses inside. So 2 runners on for Mike Trout. The last guy you'll want to face in this situation. That one squeezes through. Second and short, up the middle, and 1 more run will score for Minnesota. An RBI for the Fishman against his former team. Bound to happen eventually. We go bottom 6. Runners at the corners. And eventually, the inning is over. After a few more batters get out. But Mike Trout closes the gap a little bit further, trying to claw their way back in this one and prevent a series loss against the Halos. Edward Julian leads off the 7th inning with the base hits. A 3-for-4 day for him. He's having a really good day altogether. And Logan O'Hoppe brings him home. Right field stands it goes. And our bats are hot today. Runs number 8 and 9 cross home plate. Number 27 this year for Logan O'Hoppe. That's why he is batting cleanup, folks. Because he's so good with that power. That takes us bottom 8. 9-2. Anderson still in there now with 50-plus pitches under his repertoire. And Mike Trout does what he does best. A solo shot. But they're still losing. We've seen this story before as the Angels. And now the Twins are seeing it facing the Angels with Mike Trout on their team. So it's back to a 6-run ball game. We go top of the 9th. Julian takes first base on the walk from Josh Stelmont. He'll stay in to face Aaron Hicks, who continues to swing a hot bat. Julian heading for third, rounding and going home, and he is safe at home plate. Double-digit runs for the Angels for the first time in a showcase game all year long. A beautiful sight. And it comes against Mike Trout of all players. And the game would end with that score. Anderson would complete the game with the strikeouts. And the Angels clinch a series victory heading into Game 3, trying to go for the sweep. Games 1 and 2 were very fun, folks, but now we go into a very different game. Game 3. We've already won the series, trying to go for the sweep, and we've got Pablo Lopez versus Joe Ryan, a pitcher's duel here in this game, as the Twins try to prevent losing all 3. Pablo Lopez gets his first strikeout here against Brandon Drury, and then another one against Edward Julian to close the first. This dude is absolutely dealing in this game, but so was Joe Ryan. These two pitchers were great all year long, and they kept it going here in this matchup. The ground out by Willie Castro. Next up, Alex Kirilloff, who is playing at first base here in this game. And he flies out to center field, where we've got Joe Adell playing today. Mike Trout next up, and he is out. Aaron Hicks puts him down. We go top of the 2nd. Lopez sends Aaron Hicks packing for out number 2, his 3rd strikeout already. Joe Ryan picks up one more off of Royce Lewis. That's his first strikeout today. And then climbing the ladder is Ryan Jeffers. Upstairs fastball got him. Top of the 3rd. Rengifo gets the first base hit of the day and leads off the 3rd with the single. Next up, Zach Neto, and he chases that low slurve. Pablo Lopez getting a lot of guys to chase here. Nolan Shanuel softly lines out to Trout, and the inning is over. Still deadlocked at 0. Joe Ryan picks up another strikeout. Alex Kirilloff up again. High fly ball to left field. Aaron Hicks tracking it down for the out to end the third. And through 3, only 1 hit for the Angels, 2 for the Twins. Edward Julian looking to increase the hit streak, but he looks set. Strike 3 for the first outs. The backwards K for the Twins starter, but he walks Ohtani right afterwards, so 2 men on base, 1 out. Aaron Hicks looks at strike 3 just like Julian. 2 outs, already 6 Ks for Lopez, and now another one. Just ugly swings and really good pitching by Lopez. He deserves to be hype after that one. He gets out of a slight jam, and we're still knotted up at 0. Full count. Mike Trout looks at strike 3 to open the 4th. Joe Ryan a backwards K. Clean up batter Royce Lewis still follows that one up with a walk. Carlos Correa trying to put his team in good scoring position as Royce Lewis steals seconds. That's like their 4th or 5th steal of the series, man, and we've got, I think, none. On the ground, though, Correa grounds out to advance the runner. So a man on third, a chance to break the tie here, but he chased it. He goes down. That's Ryan Jeffers. Joe Ryan continues to deal. He and Lopez going back and forth. And there goes Zach Neto. Pablo Lopez stays in here in the 5th. 2 outs now, and the same exact pitch, essentially. Just cannot get any contact really off of Lopez right now. Joe Ryan stays in here in the 5th, and he gets through 5 with the Byron Buxton groundouts. Neither team showing any signs of life on offense. Brandon Drury caught looking. The 10th strikeout. Not even through a full 6. Julian deep infield, and he beats the throw from Correa, and once again keeps the hit streak alive. Now it's up to 36 games. Can he really keep it going throughout the entire rest of the season? Maybe so. That's an error from the catcher. Julian up to third base with 2 outs, and Ohtani at the plate. Ryan Jeffers with the error. Over 100 pitches now is Lopez. Ohtani just not enough under it, though. And we're still tied at 0. Joe Ryan stays in his pitch count, also getting up there. An ugly swing from Castro will send him packing. That brings up Alex Kirilloff. Inside out swing. Grounded out to shortstop for out number 2. Trying to get the 3rd out. Mike Trout takes him deep to right. This one is caught at the wall. Moniak at the back of the warning track calls it in, and that's a quality start for Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez. Both guys only 2 hits allowed and no runs through 6. And Lopez is staying in just to get 1 more punch out. And now his day is done. He pitched so damn well. 11 strikeouts, only 2 hits allowed. And that's going to be it for Joe Ryan as well. Patrick Sandoval, another appearance here against the Twins. We go top of the 8 against Brock Stewart as Joe Adell gets a hit to go down the right field line. Heading for second base for a stand-up double to lead off the inning. Once again, we have been great at that in this series. For some reason, it's so good. And now Sean Noel with a blast, but it is just foul by 1.5 feet. So unlucky. The count goes 1-2. And he chases a pitch in the dirt. Not what you want to see right after nearly having a home run ball. So 1 out. Brandon Drury looks at strike 3, and he has only himself to be mad at because the umpire was completely correct. That ball was in the zone. No question. You gotta swing there, man, especially with the full count. Instead, he goes down. Full count for Edward Julian. High flyer to right field. It's got some carry, but not enough. And the inning is over. 0-0. Going to the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs for Byron Buxton. Sandoval still in there. And Buxton will get on base. That hit goes to center fields. Buxton holds at first. Billy Castro has a real chance here to break this tie open. Grounded, though, to short, or second, rather, and he is out. We're going to the 9th inning. Still zeros on the board. Justin Topa comes in for the 2nd straight game, trying to get a hold here, going bottom 9. But Logan O'Hoppe, another opposite field single. That's pretty much been his bread and butter all series long, as opposite field hits. Had a home run, a couple extra base hits, and a couple of singles there as well. Aaron Hicks bunts him to second base for the first outs. With a man on second base, lifted to right, Mickey Moniak is going to bring home the runner. And once again, the Angels strike first. And this time, the first run comes across in the 9th inning. His 20th RBI double this season, and it's a big one. We jump in front, just have to hold on now to win this ball game. Next batter up, Luis Rengifo. Deep infield, Carlos Correa this time makes the throw. We don't beat it this time around. So 2 outs for Zach Neto, chasing the slider on the outside. We're going bottom 9. Leading by a single run. Trying to go for the sweep. And Matt Moore comes in once again. Now 17 saves under his belt on the season. And he sends Kirilloff back to his dugouts for out number 1. Mike Trout next up, 0 for 3 today. Down off the curve. Behind in the counts. 1-2 pitch on the way. And Trout went around, says the umpire. Out number 2. 1 away from winning the game. Royce Lewis way in front of the circle change. The count runs even. Pitch 13. On the way from Moore. He grounds it to third base. Julian online, and the Angels complete the sweep. A 1-0 shutout victory in Game 3. And Minnesota has got to be reeling after that. What a series by the Angels against our former franchise player and Mike Trout. That is a huge series right there, with only a couple more weeks left on the season. Sandoval gets the win. Matt Moore gets another save, number 18 for him on the season. That was one of our only series sweeps across the entire first season. We had one, well, we did not have one in August, clearly. Had one in July, had a couple others, probably like one per month or less than that. So to beat this good of a team, especially Mike Trout's team, in 3 games, that is very impressive and a fun way to close out year 1. But for us, we got to go through 3 different leagues to kind of round out the stats here. AA ends on the 15th, AAA ends on the 22nd, and the MLB season ends on the 29th. So got 3 weeks to go through to see who does what. I'm going to get through probably the 14th here to go see the AA stats before they get wiped out, because they do get wiped out once the year is over. So want to make sure I don't miss it on those, because that could be some very key information for us. So we're going to sim through the 14th against the Astros here. We ended up splitting the first 2 games of the series, and pretty sure Julian had 2 home runs in this 7-4 victory here in Game 1 against Christian Javier, and he did. So his hit streak was kept alive. That's 36 or 37 games in a row for him now. And then in Game 2, did he keep it alive? We got shut out, only had 5 hits, or 6 hits rather. And Julian had one of them. He was 1 for 3 with a double. So he kept that alive. Griffin Canning gave only 1 run and got the loss. That sucks. So we got 1 more game against them. But let's go check out the AA stats real quick with 1 game left on their schedule. Looks like Placencia led us by far in hits. He was that shortstop that continuously appeared on those monthly updates from the minors. He's only 20 years old, has C potential, so he could find himself in AAA next year if he keeps this up. Only slugging .378 though. In terms of home runs, 14 for Sonny DiChiara, and that was first on the team. He's 24. He's got the potential, followed up by 4 other players in double digits: Orlando Martinez, Joe Stewart, Caleb Ketchup, and Placencia. Ketchup, by the way, batted .291, had plenty of hits. He was top 5 on the team in hits. He's also got deep potential, but can play second, third, or short. Probably not a whole lot more growth for him going forward with that low potential. Average leader was Matt Coutney, but if you look at the guys that played a lot, it was actually Caleb Ketchup. In terms of on-base percentage, Ketchup was the leader in that with .366, followed by Placencia, Nelson Rada, and Sonny DiChiara. So those were your top on-base guys. And then anything else worth checking here? Probably the WAR. Who is the top WAR player? Deshaun Knowles, and then Caleb Ketchup. So center fielder who has C potential, but has a long way to go before he can reach it. He's 23 years old. He had a solid season for us, for sure. In terms of pitchers, Mason Erla got the most innings and actually pitched very well. A .287 ERA, 118 whip, and 59 appearances. The leader in wins was Michael Darrell Hicks with a .241 ERA, 121 whip, 19 games started, 12 of them quality. So that's very impressive. So Michael Darrell Hicks, C potential pitcher, already 26 years old, has not even appeared in the majors yet, and I think that makes sense. But he's got a long way to go before he is going to be ready. But I think he's worth putting up to AAA for next year, perhaps, if I can remember to do so. The WAR leader for pitchers was Chase Chaney. .321 ERA, 138 whip, 7-13 record. He had the 3rd highest K rate among all pitchers, but I wonder why his WAR is so high, with the record being like, I guess because the home run per 9 is so low, but I guess it will be in AA against these kinds of batters. But the FIP is very low. To be honest, I'm not even sure what FIP means. I'm assuming that the higher it is, the worse it is, but maybe I'm wrong. I honestly have no idea. So if you guys could help me out there, I would appreciate that. But Ben Joyce ends up with a .355 ERA across 36 games. He is one of those B potential players. So we have, I think, 2 B potential players outside of our top 2 prospects. And he obviously played last year in the majors, but only for a little bit. In AA, I think he was solid. 15 walks of 43 strikeouts. That's impressive. So that's pretty good. Leader in strikeouts was Chase Chaney, followed by Jack Kochanowicz and Max Rachich. And who is the other? the other B potential pitcher. I don't think it was Rachich, right? He's the guy that we acquired via trade for Anthony Rendon. It was Barrett Kent, wasn't it? It was Barrett Kent. B potential, 19 years old, 5-11 this year across 27 starts. I think he was, well, I guess this would be solid if these were major league numbers, but this is not the best for a AA pitcher, especially with a 153 whip. Most guys are around the 1-2s in there, but he was a 2.8 WAR pitcher this year, so he is improving at least. We sim a whole nother week. We had 2 wins and a series win against the White Sox. We end up losing against the Astros in Game 3, so they win that one. And then we're facing them again on the road, and they lead us 2-1 going into Game 4. But did Julian keep up the hit streak? Let's find out. He got the day off in this game against the Astros, so it doesn't count there. Against the White Sox, he would come back and got 2 hits and 3 at-bats, with a home run involved there too. Against the White Sox in another game, he goes 2 for 4. This dude is insane. A hoppy homered in that game, by the way. Game 3 against the White Sox, and he goes 1 for 2 with a handful of plate appearances. A double in there as well. Mickey Moniak homered. Then we got shut out again by Houston. Only 4 hits, 0 runs, and it looks like he did not play in this one. And the next game, he would lose the hit streak despite getting on base 2 times via walk. He would go 0 for 3 at the plates, and that would end his hit streak at like 39 or 40 some games. And then our most recent game, did he get back on track? He did, going 2 for 3 and drawing 2 more walks. He has been absolutely incredible. I cannot wait for next year with this guy because he's going to be the star of the team, no doubt. But it is the end of the year in AAA for the Salt Lake Bees. They are 1 game away from finishing in first place in their league, although the River Cats and the Tacoma Rainiers both have the same record as of right now, and the tiebreaker alongside that too. But the top batters, top hitter overall was Jordan Adams, followed by Chad Wallach, both guys around 114, 115. Although Wallach had a much higher average, so I guess, yeah, he had a lot less plate appearances than Adams did. Home run leader was Bryce Teodosio with 15, followed by Marco Luciano with 12 home runs, Caleb Hamilton at 10, and Adams at 10, with Walker Jenkins coming in at 8 home runs. RBI leaders were Luciano and Teodosio. Stolen bases, Levon Soto averaged Chad Wallach by a long shot, but Walker Jenkins really brought his average up to 244. It was hovering around 220 for the majority of the season, but I guess he got hot towards the end, and the ratings do reflect that. I mean, he's got +6 contact lefty, +5 power righty. Pretty much every stat is going up except for speed, but it's already in a pretty decent spot. So, I mean, with plate vision, discipline going up, he is due to be a better hitter going into next season. So excited for him. And then Luciano ends up batting .214. He was at the low 200s, like at 202 for a while, so he brought that up, but still never really got fully on track. On base leader was Chad Wallach, followed by Michael Stefanik. Slugger leader, Chad Wallach. Walker Jenkins comes in 4th. And the highest WAR batter in AAA this year was Bryce Teodosio in center field. 65 overall, about a 247. A couple other guys above 1. Luciano, 0.1. And Walker Jenkins, -0.6. That's the worst among all position players. I wonder why. Maybe it's just because he only really batted well until the end of his season, but also he was playing DH for a lot of his time down here, so never really got that much of a shot to play defense, which would, of course, lower the WAR. At least I think it would, right? Highest K rate was Gabe Matthews, followed by Caleb Hamilton. Lowest K rate, Walker Jenkins, second lowest. Impressive. In terms of pitchers, Victor Medeiros, who is a 66 overall C potential pitcher, so there is something to, possibly work with here. And he did not pitch very well. 4.80 ERA, 1.58 whip. A lot of work to be done for him. Kenny Rosenberg, 9-11 this year and over 160 innings. He was decent. Adam Sember, who is obviously a veteran pitcher at 33 years old, and he was fantastic, but with a 64 overall, I'm just not sure that I can really bring a guy that low overall into the rotation. And looks like Jose Quijada, Zach Plesac all kind of did all right. Luis Garcia was fantastic, a whip below 1. And then Guillermo Zuniga also with a really low ERA, the lowest among all pitchers in AAA across 39 games. That is impressive, but he's a 58 overall. He's probably not going to get much higher than that. And the ratings are going down, which makes no sense after this kind of a season. I'm not sure how that works exactly. Strikeout leader was Davis Daniel with 165, followed by Maderos at 151. Most quality starts, 15 for Kenny Rosenberg, 12 for Maderos. And then top WAR belongs to Adam Sember and Davis Daniel. So a reliever with 3.1 WAR is actually pretty incredible. We finished the season just 4 games below 500, so pretty much a really strong month of September compared to the rest of our season because we kind of climbed back towards 500. Obviously, fell short, but I think that this is still definitely a year to build on. I think the record before this was very, very similar to this, so there was a slight improvement compared to 2023. But after our first season, we end off with 5 out of our last 7 games are wins. We end up tying the series against Houston and making that a 2-2 series to leave it. Julian, 2 for 5. RBIs for him. Joe Ryan with a really solid performance. 1 earned run across 6 and change. We take down the White Sox 8-6, or we just swept the White Sox in 3 straight games. Another sweep here in September. We lost a series to close the year against the Rangers, who finished at 92-70. So here's your bracket. The Yankees are going to face the Rangers. The Twins are going to face the Guardians. The Astros end up being the 1 seed. Baltimore gets the 2. In the National League, the Phillies will face the Cubs. The Cardinals will face the Padres, with the Dodgers and the Braves as the 1 and 2 seeds with first-round byes. So that's the end of our season. Let's go check out some stats. In terms of league leaders, Edward Julian led, well, this is MLB league leaders. He led the league in triples, batting average, slugging percentage, and on-base plus slugging. This dude is an absolute star. I mean, dude, he batted .333 this year. 333. Look at all these ratings. He's got +6 contact righty, +7 contact lefty. Oh, this man is going to be an absolute stud for us. I'm so excited to see the future for him, man. Behind him, you had Alvarez, Andrew Vaughn, Carlos Correa, and Mike Trout. So 2 twins there in the top 5. In the National League, Corbin Carroll had the highest average with Ohtani in 5th. Obviously, another former Angel. In terms of hits, Corey Seager led the American League, with Corbin Carroll leading the National League. At bats, Miguel Andujar, first place. Nico Herner, first place. Doubles, Kyle Tucker and Ohtani, with Julian in 3rd here in the American League by only 7. Mike Trout and Julian tied in that stat. Triples. He does lead the entire league in triples, so that was a true stat. Ohtani had 13. Home runs, Corey Seager had 40. Mike Trout ends up with 39. And his teammate, Royce Lewis, had 39. And their teammate, Byron Buxton, had 36. They are an absolute powerhouse of a team. In the National League, Matt Olson had 46. Ohtani had 36. RBI leader, Mike Trout with 130, which is a career high by a long shot, I'm pretty sure. I can't sort it, but his highest before that was 111 back in 2014. That's what a good team around you will get. Mike Trout. Matt Olson leads it with 127 in the National League. Most runs, Kyle Tucker and Ronald Acuna, with Julian in second place with 107, almost first place. And then stolen bases, Cedric Mullins and Esteury Ruiz. And Julian was actually tied for sixth on bases on balls. He was fantastic. On base percentage, he led the American League and the entire MLB by a long shot, 425. Next highest was 408 with Ketel Marte. So he was just different. He ties Mike Trout in slugging percentage, but finishes just above him. So that percent is not entirely 100% the same, but he does lead a league in that. Leader in OPS, followed by Mike Trout. Is this guy better than Mike Trout? I don't want to say he is, but maybe he has that kind of potential batting-wise to be that good. Defensively, not so much, but offensively, I mean, the numbers are speaking to me right now. They're speaking to me. Verlander had the most wins in the American League, while Kodai Senga and like 6 other pitchers are tied with 17, including Kyle Gibson and Sonny Gray over in St. Louis. In terms of saves, Clase with 51, AJ Minter 47, ERA leader Wade Miley and Shane McClanahan. Strikeouts, Pablo Lopez, which you would know by just watching that pitcher's duel in Game 3 against him this episode. And Joe Ryan finishes top 6. Pitching WAR, 4.9 for Nola and 5.4 for Tarek Skubal. And batting WAR, you got Mike Trout at 9.6, which is the best across the entire major leagues by a full 1.0 over Corbin Carroll. And Julian was top 10 in the American League in that stat. Now back to the average. There you go. So a lot of Edward Julian stats right there. What a year for him. Let's go check out these stats for us after the awards. MVP is Mike Trout. And then Matt Olson wins it in the NL. For the Cy Young, it's Shane Bieber and Spencer Strider. The batting title, Edward Julian and Corbin Carroll. Reliever of the year, Emmanuel Clase and Evan Phillips. Rookie of the year, Colt Keith, with Nolan Shawano, I guess, still kind of considered to be a rookie this year, but also not really. He ends up in third place behind Colt Keith and Evan Carter. Yamamoto wins it in the NL. Hank Aaron Award, which is given to the top hitter in each league, and so that's not the same as the batting title, but 2 awards for Edward Julian. This trade has really paid off for both teams better than I could have ever imagined. Straight up, I did not expect Mike Trout to have this good of a year, even though he's a great player. And I did not expect Julian to be around the same level. Straight up. Was not aware of that. Corbin Carroll wins it in the NL. Gold Glove pitchers, Logan Gilbert and Brandon Pfaadt, or Pfaadt, however you say that. Gold Glove catchers, Bo Naylor and Alvarez, with O'Hoppe coming in third place. First baseman, Anthony Rizzo and Christian Walker, with Shawano in second. Gold Glove second baseman, Andre Jimenez and Xander Bogaerts. Ramon Arias, Matt Chapman. Shortstop, Zach Neto wins a Gold Glove. Hell yes. Along with Willie Adames. Left field, Dalton Varsho, Eddie Rosario. Kevin Kiermaier, James Outman, and then finally in right field, Max Kepler and Tatis. Now for the Silver Sluggers, Byron Buxton, Ohtani, Yainer Diaz, and Will Smith, with Logan O'Hoppe in second place. Vlad and Matt Olson. Marcus Semien and Ozzie Albies, with Julian and Brandon Drury in second and third. So they do have Julian listed as the second baseman, but he played third base pretty much the entire year for us. So it'll be against guys like Marcus Semien going forward, unless I change his actual main position around. But for third baseman, Bregman and Austin Riley. Shortstops, Corey Seager and Francisco Lindor. And In the outfield, Mike Trout, Corbin Carroll, along with Alvarez, Garcia, Reynolds, and Suzuki. And then, I guess, these are all different positions. Jesus Christ. Kyle Tucker, Acuna, Aaron Judge, Jorge Soler, and then still waiting for these last 2 MVP awards, and then we're done. In terms of team stats, Neto had the most games played. Drury had the most at-bats. Most hits belongs to Edward Julian. Most home runs belongs to Logan O'Hoppe, but 4 players finished with 20+. 23 for Neto, Drury, 24 for Moniak, who actually finished his year very strong. He's still up for a contract extension, so I might give that out to him. I think he is worth keeping around. Julian, 28, 30 for O'Hoppe. RBI leader, Julian, followed by O'Hoppe, which makes sense because they bat 3rd and 4th. Leader in steals was Edward Julian. Average leader was Julian, but Calhoun was playing well when he actually got playing time before he got hurt and broke his leg or whatever it was that knocked him out for the entire season. On base percentage leader was Edward Julian, followed by Aaron Hicks, who had a really strong finish to his campaign. We saw Julian as the leading slugger, but Mickey Moniak, O'Hoppe, Drury, Hicks, Shawnuel, and Sano all slug over 400. OPS leader, Edward Julian by a mile, but Aaron Hicks and O'Hoppe both up there. This young core has a lot of really good things working for him here. Really excited for the future of this team because plenty of players really kind of outperformed what I thought they would do. I did not think O'Hoppe was going to be this good. He pulled his average up from 244 or thereabouts to 263 to close out his season. So that was very impressive. Most double plays was Drury, then Rengifo. And what about WAR? 5.8 for Julian, 4 for O'Hoppe, 3.5 for Shawnuel, 3.3 for Drury. And Shawnuel just got to a full year of Major League service, exactly a full year. Highest walk rate was Aaron Hicks, followed by Julian. Strikeout percentage, Mickey Moniak had the highest, followed by Miguel Sano. Julian top 4. Lowest on the Major League roster was Nolan Shawnuel at 10.3%. So that's because of the really good contact. And he has also got really high plate vision at 84 and 96 discipline. So it's hard to get this guy to strike out. And ISO power, Julian, Moniak, O'Hoppe, Miguel Sano. And that should be pretty much it. That should close it out for the position players. In terms of pitchers, Reed Detmers ends up going 12-12. After a horrible start to his season, he kind of, brought things back, but still has a lot of work to be done before I can trust him for more than one more season. If he does this one more time, he's probably done. He's had a worse year ever since 2022. Back-to-back just downgrades in terms of their season. Joe Ryan had a fantastic year, 12-9 record, had the most innings pitched of any pitcher, 3.20 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, and that was the 3rd lowest WHIP on the entire team, with Matt Moore and Andrew Watts making a name for themselves to maybe come back next year. I think we already brought back Andrew Watts, but he is 28 years old, so he has a lot of years left. And in terms of other ERAs, Chase Solseth below 4. Canning ends up going to 4.52, so he had a really cold end to his season. Soriano, Detmers, Anderson, pretty much everybody else was not good whatsoever. Lowest whip, Joe Ryan. Had 33 games started, 19 of which were quality. We had 4 pitchers with double-digit quality starts. In terms of strikeouts, I actually want to see who had the most. It was Joe Ryan by a mile. And now for the pitching war. 4.5 for Joe Ryan. 2.8 for Silseth. And then a couple guys over 1. Somehow, despite these numbers not being very good, how did Sandoval have a 1.0 WAR? Not sure. But negative WAR for Jose Soriano, Jimmy Hergetz, Pomeranz, and Luis Garcia, who, I mean, half these guys were sent down to AAA, so that's kind of why. But those are your stats on the year. We end up going 79 and 83. Now it's time to see what happens here in the postseason. Baltimore takes a 3-0 lead, and they sweep the Dodgers 4-0 in the World Series. So they're the new team on top. Postseason MVP goes to Ryan O'Hearn in the AL, Mookie Betts in the National League, and the World Series MVP is Adley Rutschman. He batted .529 with 2 home runs. Christ. So that is going to end our season, folks. Who do you want to bring back? What kind of player should we go after in the offseason? What kind of trades should we go after? And what do you guys want to see in year 2? Any certain teams to face? Any certain storylines? Any prospects in Double or AAA? Let me know in the comments down below. Some really fun players that I think that we can really build around with Edward Julian, Logan O'Hoppe, Joe Ryan, Brandon Drury, I think, deserves to stick around. Reed Detmers, maybe, hopefully, can step up. Still Seth having a really solid year 1 for us. Matt Moore might come back, but he's 34 years old. Might want to look elsewhere for a younger option. Mickey Moniak is probably going to ask for an extension. We already gave one to Zach Neto, Griffin Canning. Should Luis Rengifo come back? I'm not so sure. He ends up batting .249. Thinking about that and thinking about other players, but I think we have plenty of players to build around and a lot to look forward to with these new draft picks as well coming in here next season. We'll see about all those guys as we move into our first ever off season here in the series. I'll see you guys there as we dive in to bring in some new blood to Los Angeles. I'll see you guys there next time. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and peace.